gentlemen, and welcome to the Hobby Night Wrestlemania 41 Night 1 and 2 prediction stream. How are you all doing? I see that there are several of you already hanging out in chat. It's lovely to see you. Hello, Steve Havman. It's lovely to see both of you and anybody else who is lurking. So today the plan is we're going to go through the card for both WrestleMania Night 1 and WrestleMania Night 2, and I'm going to give you my predictions, and we can talk about what your predictions are together, and we'll discuss it, and it'll be lovely. And this is all leading up to my Night 1 watch-along party tomorrow, which is going to be on my free OnlyFans page. So if you want to join me for that, make sure to be there, starting at 3:30 p.m. Pacific time tomorrow.
If you are of legal age
of course.
in our jurisdiction.
Of course.
Covering our ass legally.
Absolutely.
Because you will not be covering your ass tomorrow.
Exactly, and it's gonna be a grand time. But today we're just talking about predictions. And so I am on the WWE's website. They have the list of all the cards. There's one card that they talk about, but they didn't actually put the picture with, and I'm like, wow, fuck you to both of those people.
I'm gonna be the pedant and point out to you that it's one card, maybe two cards if you count each night as its own card.
Yes.
Each match is not a card.
You're right.
Yeah.
Yes. Sorry. Of course. Thank you for the correction there. Yeah, I was saying that.
I'm just gonna be a pedant.
No, I like it. You're right. But let's get started, because I'm excited to talk about this year's WrestleMania. I have not been following week to week or anything. I have been keeping up with WrestleMania or Wrestle Talk, following their news off and on for like the major events, especially when we get closer and closer to pay-per-views. I have watched most of the most recent of WWE's pay-per-views as well, some of them live with you guys. But I want to go over today's or the whole WrestleMania card, like all of it. So, Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez versus Bayley and Lyra Valkyria. This is our first match for the women's.
It's the tag team championship for the women's, and Angela, you are very off your game.
I am so off.
I'm trying to bring you back in.
Heck yeah. Okay.
Can you dig it?
I can.
Sucker!
Yes, I can. All right, so let's talk about this first match, the women's tag team championship. This one, this could be interesting for one.
Could it?
I think so, because
Thank
there's
God
something.
it can be interesting, because we needed something to happen.
So I wanted to throw something out there that I don't know if I've specifically heard anybody else talk about, but I know it's something that like we've talked about a little bit in the past, and that's the eventual downfall of the Judgment Day. We've already had that a little bit with, of course, Rhea and Damian Priest leaving, but we had Raquel and Liv Morgan sort of filled in those gaps, and Finn and Dominic are still part of it. Now, Finn and Dominic are also in their own match later tonight. We'll talk about that match in a bit. But I have a potential hypothetical that I'm just gonna throw out there that I wanna know your guys' opinion on, because I don't know if I've been following this particular feud enough to know this is where we could be going. But I do wonder if Liv and Raquel are going to lose, Bayley and Lyra are going to take the titles. That will give Lyra her second tag team championship run. I think this time with a different tag team, because I don't think she was that previously with Bayley. And Bayley's had this, I think, championship a few times with various people, so this would be another one for her. But I think they might win the belts, and Liv and Raquel might end up butting heads a little bit because they lost. That could then lead into later in the night, because Dominic and Finn are also in a match, a four-way match, and again, we'll talk about this in more detail in a bit, but they're also in a four-way match, but they're versus each other. So if one of them, say, wins that match, or screws the other out of not winning it and allowing somebody else on that four-way to win, I could potentially see this WrestleMania leading into the ultimate downfall of Judgment Day. Because I feel like we've been dealing with Judgment Day for a fair amount of time, right?
They're still technically a functioning IP.
That's what I mean, is like, I wonder if this match and the one where it has Dominic and Finn going against each other are somehow going to lead to the eventual downfall. I'm so glad that it's on your calendar so you can remember to watch with me tomorrow night. Steve, that's great. Your bet's on Cena. WrestleMania kind of ended with the Taker when Undertaker retired and forced yourself to watch. You couldn't force yourself to watch after that. Yeah, no, that makes sense. That makes sense. I mean, Taker was a big deal. I don't really feel...
Taker's pinning is what brought you into wrestling.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Taker's pinning was what brought me into wrestling, because I got into pro wrestling around 2014, which is when his streak ended and everything. And so...
I forced you to start watching wrestling after I heard the streak ended, and I watched WrestleMania 30 and went, holy hell, that was a good show.
Well, then I also had the experience of seeing the, the 18-second match, a year or so before, of Daniel Bryan getting his ass absolutely handed to him by Sheamus in that random, WrestleMania 30 or 28? Yeah, whatever the precursor to, the rise of the Yes Movement was, I saw, that match, of that 18-second match of Daniel Bryan and Sheamus, and that was really wild, and I was like, that is such a weird concept to do for a show this large. So that kind of blew my mind. Then he found out about Taker getting pinned, and then we eventually went to a live show, and the live show was really what sold me on it. And what's funny is, I think the live show was near the end of the really, really long-term John Cena, Randy Orton back and forth. So it was the conclusion of that. So that was also really interesting to come in on at a very weird time in its existence with the fandom. Because I was like, why are people booing? I mean, they're doing a pretty good job. It was a random cage match too between the two of them, as our main event, because it was leading into some pay-per-view that they were hoping to sell to...
It was the house show before the Suplex City SummerSlam.
That's right. It was the house show before the Suplex City SummerSlam. You're right, that's exactly what it was. So yeah, they were selling to people. They put on a really good show, because there was also potential backers in, I think, the audience and such. But I don't remember why I was talking about... Oh, right, because you were talking about Taker, and that was what brought you out, is him leaving. Well, that's what brought me in. But I understand where you're at. You're kind of leaning towards Bayley and Lyra winning. I feel like they're going to, because again, I really feel as if because I don't really see another point to this match other than to just be let's get these 4 women on a WrestleMania card so that we have more women on the WrestleMania card. I don't really see otherwise a point of this match other than to push Lyra, give Bayley just another win, because I feel like she's gone into a little bit of a Natalya role in a way of being a bit of a mentor to up-and-coming talent. I'm not trying to down that player or anything like that. I think it's a very important role, but I do feel like modernly, in my personal experience, which has been limited with the day-to-day or the week-to-week shows, with Bayley. You guys correct me if you think I'm wrong on that, or I'm just completely off base. But I feel like that's what that's gonna do. Not to say that Raquel and Liv aren't both Liv isn't really up and coming talent. She's been rocking things for a while, but I know Raquel is. But she's had the championship, I think, what was it? 3 times now? Yeah, I think she's had it 3 times. So I feel like, if anything, she might be ready to venture out on her own and do singles competition, which again could lead to this downfall if they happen to lose. That's my... we'll get to the Cena battle, don't worry. We're gonna get to that one. We're starting with the women's tag. So my bet is on Bayley and Lyra.
I don't know if you have to spend too much time on some of these.
No, you're right. Okay, so we're gonna move on to the men's...
Yes,
this is one I'm not gonna spend a lot of time on. I think this is a weird match.
Everything with the New Day this year has been weird, because I think it's been off and on, I think, behind the scenes. I am speculating wildly, okay? I think they have been hoping the best for Big E, but it hasn't turned out the best for Big E, and that's resulted in kind of an awkward situation, because who really wants to boo the New Day when we all know how Xavier and Kofi are in real life? If you watch their YouTube stuff, great guys, everyone knows they're just playing evil character. It's the worst case of kayfabe being dead.
Yes.
I think.
I completely agree. Because, for me, I just have such a hard time believing the New Day are heel. It's so hard for me to believe that they're the bad guys, even though they are being presented as the bad guys in this. I kind of hope for their sake, and for this to potentially actually go somewhere with this heel turn, that the New Day win, but I kind of would just prefer the War Raiders to keep it, because I kind of think it's cool that they've had it for I think a year now,
wow,
which is really? Yeah. I think this article was talking about it. They won it. Yeah, so New Day hasn't had it for 2 years, which I find just wild. I hadn't realized it'd been 2 years since they had it.
It's been a while since you've been watching.
It's true. And then, War Raiders retained or captured the championship last year from Finn and JD McDonough. So I don't know when, I can't remember when last year that happened,
that must have been peak Judgment Day.
Yeah, so like, I think it must have been that, so they got it from them, and they just held it since. So I think it's probably gonna be the New Day, but my heart wants the War Raiders, but I think it's gonna be the New Day because I think WWE wants to try to make this heel thing happen for them, and if I don't win, I don't know if that's gonna really fly, you know? Like, I think they need the belts to be proper heels because otherwise I just don't believe it. So this is the one where I'm like, why doesn't Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre get a photo, WWE? Poor guys. So they're also having a match this on WrestleMania, of course, and this is one where I'm like, this feels like a match that was just like, we want to have these two guys on Mania. We kind of feel like we owe them that, and let's just put them against each other because I know that Damian Priest technically screwed Drew McIntyre out of his championship like belt. I think it was retention or the win, I can't remember now, alongside CM Punk, but like Drew really focused on CM Punk and did all of that nonsense with him, which I just found incredibly boring. And so like this is sort of the follow-up to that of like Damian or Drew finally getting his revenge on Damian for messing with him and cashing in and causing problems. But I just don't know if I care, and I feel really bad because I think both of these guys are really good wrestlers. Like Drew and Damian are both phenomenal wrestlers. I just don't know if I care that much about this happening. I'm going to assume, let's see, who currently... Oh, this is just a street fight, so I don't even think there is a belt tied to this.
Oh yeah, that's right.
The
It's the grudge match.
Yeah, this is just a grudge match. So I am going to just put my money on Drew because I feel like it's been a while since he's had a win. I don't know if that's actually true, but I feel like he hasn't had like a big win on a big pay-per-view in a while, so let's give it to him. Moving on, we've got Jade Cargill versus Naomi. This is, I find it so funny that I guess Jade's one of her nicknames in WWE is The Storm. Because they obviously can't call her Storm because that's copyright to Marvel.
Yep.
But I'm like, guys, whatever, it's great, I love it. This match, this is also just a grudge match, right? This is not for a championship. Yeah, this is just a grudge match. So honestly, I could go with either woman. I'm gonna say Jade. I think Jade needs it because she is the like quote unquote newer star. As much as I love Naomi and I always want like the glow effect everywhere, constantly, and I'm super glad that she's back, by the way. I know she's been back for a little while now, but like she keeps like leaving and coming back and leaving and coming back, and it's really nice to see her be a little like more consistently on the program. But I really think Jade's gonna win this one. I feel like they want to push her. They have been kind of pushing her, and I think that's just a continuous goal of WWE right now. And unfortunately, I just think Naomi's not gonna win it because of that. But yeah, I think you guys are right. Probably a Jade win. I think it's gonna be a Drew win as well. Nice. As long as Charlotte Flair's losing, you're fine. You know, that's fair. That is fair. All right, this is a match that I am so looking forward to because I just think it's gonna be fun. And if El Grande Americano doesn't win, I'm gonna be pissed. Because there's no reason Rey needs to win this. Like, Rey is a veteran, freaking put over Chad Gable and give that man a goddamn run like he deserves, okay? I'm sorry, El Grande Americano. I'm really looking forward to this one. I think it's gonna be fun. Like I said, El Grande is my pick for this one. I don't really feel like there's a lot to go into this. I do love the narrative. And can I just say that in the mask, I was talking to Chaos Cultist about this earlier, in the mask, Chad in this picture looks so strikingly like it could be Kurt Angle under that mask. It is blowing my mind. You want Rey to win? You think Rey's gonna win?
I think it's likely.
You think so? God, put over Chad!
But Chad's kind of the villain in this.
I don't.
And people want to, you know, I don't know. I think
people
it's a weird message.
It is weird, because, I mean, like, honestly, it would probably, like, I know America's not popular right now, so maybe that's why. Maybe Rey will win. Rey wins and unmasks him. Well, I mean, yeah, I guess so. I want Chad to actually, like, have a legitimate major push, and I'm like, I don't know when he's gonna get it, and I just desperately want it, so I think that's why I want him to win, but you're probably right. But yeah, you're right. Like, I mean, that's the thing, is like, Rey really doesn't need this win. I know he's the good guy, and it's probably just gonna be for that. Where is this one? Oh, Vegas. Yeah, they'll probably have him win, actually. Okay, so I'm probably wrong. I'm still gonna put my money on El Grande Americano, but I bet you're right. I bet it's gonna be Rey. Moving on to our next fight, which is another one where I'm like, why? Kind of feels slapped together, and I know it was just because it was, you know, there was the big brawl, the last man standing match, which Fatu won over Braun Strowman, hence this is why he's in this match, but it just feels like kind of a weird matchup. I don't know. I guess my gut is that LA Knight is gonna retain, or I guess maybe that's what my heart wants. I'm gonna say that's what my heart wants, because depending on what the plan is for Solo Sikoa's head of the table run, etc., like that, like Samoan legacy, I could see them putting it on Fatu and letting him win over LA Knight.
I mean, it's a title they tend to just throw onto someone.
You think Solo's gonna interfere and end up costing LA? I could definitely see that. And I definitely feel like that is
another interference for a title from the Samoan.
It's just, my one problem with that is it's been done so many times.
Like, how? The 5th year in a row?
I think so. Specifically at WrestleMania too. I mean, now that you say it.
It's a tradition.
I don't like that. Like, that's not a fun tradition. That's not one that I necessarily want to see continued. So like, I kind of, you know what? I'm putting my fist down. I'm going with LA Knight. I think your guys are probably right. I think Jacob Fatu is probably gonna win. But I want LA Knight to retain. Okay, this is the match that is gonna be the most fun, I think. I think this match is gonna be just so fun. So we've got Braun Breaker. Did not realize, by the way, that Braun Breaker was spelled with 2 Ks. Love that. Stupid. I just didn't really pay attention as much, I guess, to like the spelling. Versus Dominic Mysterio versus Finn Balor and versus Penta. This match is gonna be wild. I think Braun Breaker's been having a pretty good run, and I could see him even retaining, because this is really where I feel like we might continue to see, especially depending on what happens in that women's match, the tag team women's match, the downfall of Judgment Day. And I don't know about you guys, but I feel like they've sort of run their course. And
everyone agrees.
So I feel like I'm
channeling chat right now psychically, and they agree.
Okay, good. Because I do really feel like this could be the like, Finn just is like, I'm done. You're an idiot, Dom, or something like that, and like leaves. Then they have the breakup of
They'll never build Legos again.
They'll never build Legos together again. You can see Solo interfering and costing. Oh, now that would be $1. That would be interesting.
Interfering and costing Finn Balor the match.
No, Solo interfering in the Fatu match, but actually costing Fatu.
I mean, it would make sense at this point.
It could also then, it could start to have build a feud within that faction too, of like having Samoans fighting. So I could see that. I'm behind that. I'm totally behind that. That would also allow LA Knight to retain, which I would be happy with. You think Braun's gonna retain or Penta's gonna win? I do also think that's what's gonna happen. I do not think Dominic or Finn are meant to win this match.
Dom is there to take the pin.
Dom is absolutely there to take the pin. Finn is there to get pissed at Dom for doing something
and
to fuck up.
To knock out him for someone else to pin.
Yes. And then I think either Braun is gonna retain, which I do think would be a good idea, but I do think they probably also want to get a belt on Penta just to ride that wave of him being there.
Treat ex-AEW talent.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I do think they probably want to get a belt on Penta sooner rather than later. So I do kind of expect Penta to win this, but for me, it's between Braun and Penta. Those are the only 2 possible winners here. If Dom or Finn wins this, Well, then I have no idea what WWE's plan is, and I guess Judgment Day is gonna stick around because I can't see them like actually. Can you? We've got another person like being dumb, and being like, right. I just don't know if that's
treat it the same way, please.
Got it. All right, cool. And then let's go ahead and
do what I told you, please.
I am. So that is what I think was going to happen with... Oh, sorry.
Hi, folks. She won't do what I ask.
I apologize. Yeah. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Sorry. So that is what I think is going to happen for the four-way, which for me personally, I think is going to be one of the matches of the night. I expect this one to be really fun. I expect people to be really into this one. I expect people to pop with like a lot of the like entrances and stuff. I'm excited to see what they do for Penta for a WrestleMania match. That is pretty freaking cool. So like, I'm excited for that one. I also, I don't know if they're gonna bring the Demon back for Finn. I want one more Demon WrestleMania match though. Like, you know what I mean? I want one more, it's not that I want him to have a match even as the Demon. Let me correct that. I want a really cool, overly elaborate WrestleMania entrance for the Demon. Because I feel like we never really got a super cool one in the way that they could have done and have done for like people like Undertaker and such like that. You want Penta to lose so he can team with his brother? That would be fine. I would be okay with that. I mean, Braun...
Also, that wasn't the same thing as the other day.
But you're right. Not quite this... You're right. But you're right. Sorry.
Sorry, folks. She's panicking me today for no reason.
I apologize.
Apologize to them.
All right, so that's what I'm thinking happened, and I love your idea, One Buck, of like the Lucha Brothers teaming back up. I had a thought, but I don't think it's actually going to happen because I looked it up, and Rey Fenix has already debuted. But one of the things that I had considered when I first was looking at this match and going, ooh, what if Rey interferes and gives Penta the win for that reason? And then they end up like teaming up for that. But because Rey's already debuted, I think it was like April 4th or something like that. I don't know if... Yeah, I just don't know if that's gonna happen. And I don't know if bringing him in that way is necessarily the way to get them back together. I feel maybe Raw after Mania could be where they hook back up or something like that, but I'm not really sure. But yeah, I know that he's already debuted, so because originally I thought it'd be really cool to have him like show up and actually have his first like presence, even if he didn't necessarily fight or like have a match or anything like that on WrestleMania. But no, he's already debuted, so I don't think they're gonna do that. But I do think Dom and Finn are gonna have a falling out, and I do really feel like this WrestleMania may be the end of Judgment Day, or at least the beginning of the end of Judgment Day. Even though I do think that has been teased numerous times over the years. Because at this point, has Judgment Day been around? Chat, let me know if this is true, but I feel like Judgment Day has been going since 2019, 2018?
No, it wasn't.
Well, because I feel like, I know it was around in COVID. Like, it was around during the COVID era. But I want to say they were had already formed as a group prior to that. Yeah, seeing Demon Finn would be really cool. Like, I hope we get that one day, but I have really, really low expectations of it because honestly, Finn doesn't seem like he necessarily wants to bring the character back, and frankly, with how the first run in main roster went with the character, I would not necessarily blame him if that was his feeling on it. Like, it did really work especially well in the NXT extremely small venue. Right, Judgment Day. I know Judgment Day started with Edge, but when did Edge come back to WWE? I can't remember. Was it in 2018, 2019? I feel like that is mildly correct, but I have no idea. Well, no, because
phone, you can Google
yeah, I'm gonna.
I don't know why you're sitting there staring into space.
I am gonna Google it because I want to say, I think I'm definitely wrong. 2022. Okay, was
That's why I was like, what are you on?
I really felt
after COVID.
Okay, for some reason I thought there
was no Edge in the Thunderdome.
No, you're right.
Actually, no, Edge was in the Thunderdome. He fought Orton in like the greatest match ever, right?
I thought so. I'm gonna check.
Yeah, so it can't be 2022. When Edge came in. Oh, I see in chat. That was when Judgment Day started. Not when Edge came in.
No, sorry. Yes, I thought I had read that fully. Was 2022 was when Judgment Day started. Okay, got it. But then, but did Edge come in then in 2019? Was that when he returned? Cause yeah, I thought I had remembered him in the WrestleMania, like during the like a pandemic era where there was like no fans. Oh yeah, the Finn Balor entrance as Jack the Ripper, the Demon in London NXT. I do remember that. That was good. Man, I'm telling you, the Demon I feel like only works in the small venues, unfortunately, because you need a certain intimacy, I think, with the stage presence, and you lose a little bit of that of being in a super, super massive arena, which is a shame because you would think that it would scale up pretty easily. But I really do feel like having that distance from him, like, and being able to really see it and kind of feel the energy off of him is a little bit weird. Okay, so 2020 Royal Rumble was his return. Okay, cool. So Edge returned in 2020, but didn't form Judgment Day until 2022. Okay, that...
Yeah, because I didn't remember much Judgment Day in the early days of COVID, but then I did remember Orton versus Edge at the COVID Mania.
Yes, and I think...
remember it was really long and kind of bad.
I do remember that. And I think that was why I was getting stuck on thinking Judgment, because I think I forgot that there were 2 years between Edge coming back and Judgment Day being formed. I guess in my head, it had happened relatively quickly that he had had formed a group, but clearly that is not the case. But yeah, this is one of the matches that I am very much looking forward to for WrestleMania. It should be a lot of fun. Now, moving on to a match that I am expecting to actually be incredibly good on just a pure pro wrestling level, because AJ Styles is a phenomenal, one might say, wrestler. And I hate admitting it, but Logan Paul has the showmanship and the athleticism, and he knows what he's doing in a ring. Like, he picked it up very quickly, and I don't like it, but he is very good in the ring. And he knows how to shit talk very well, which is also disappointing because it does make him a pretty darn decent pro wrestler, all things considered. And I loathe saying that because I don't like Logan Paul as a person. But I expect this match to be really, really good. I expect there to be a Prime bottle shenanigan, potentially, because the man's always hawking his Prime bottles, or his Prime drink. But my money and hope and desire is on AJ, just kicking the ever-living crap out of Logan Paul. It would be lovely. Yes, we all desperately want AJ Styles to whoop Logan Paul's butt. I kind of agree with you. We know AJ is approaching retirement. Like, I think himself has said it. He's getting up there in age, and like, I know he's got kids. I know he probably wants to go spend time with them. He seems like he's a very family-oriented man. So I do kind of expect Logan to legitimately win this, but oh my god, with every fiber of my being, do I want AJ to just destroy him and win. Yeah, Prime is absolutely still around. It's very much
the Lunch Lee that kind of failed.
Yeah, it's Lunch Lee that failed. So like Prime, like the collaboration between Logan Paul and Mr. Beast to produce Lunch Lee. I don't think Lunch Lee is around anymore. I think that quietly has left retail. But Prime is definitively still around. He's very good. and I do kind of expect him to win this, unfortunately, because I do think for the current market, for bringing in the younger audience and Logan's audience, which is quite large, they probably are going to put him over because then he can take the, well, there's no actual belt with this one, so it's like one of the few things that makes it kinda okay, I guess, because at least he's not getting a damn belt for this.
I admit that I keep thinking this is the U.S. title match because I associate these two with the U.S. title.
I completely understand that. I also keep
I associate AJ with U.S. title just because he's Southern.
I understand that completely, actually. He also held it. Well, I guess that's...
I think he did have it at one point.
He did, but it's been a little while since AJ's had it. No,
I think he's had the world title more. I associate because he's Southern. It just feels like he should have the U.S.
No, I completely get that. And it really does feel like...
Third battery dead.
Oh no, is that one... Okay. Yeah, it really does feel like he should have that belt. But no, this is not for a belt. I do expect Logan to win because I do think they're gonna want... He's just gonna want to be able to use that on podcasts as a talking point to, like, boost everything, so... No, I have not actually seen Samoa Joe's most recent interview. I'm sure it's a good listen, though. Alright, so we got that with Logan Paul and AJ Styles. Now, this is the one that I think has people the most intrigued. Well, one of the most intrigued. Can we talk very briefly about the shit show that was the promo for this? Because, oh my god, Charlotte fucking fell apart.
Like, I think Charlotte's gonna win this, and I think the crowd's gonna go...
I really hope that is not true. Because in my gut, I kind of agree with you. And I really don't know if that is the correct choice. I know I know Charlotte's gonna win because heaven forbid, she needs that 15th title run. Yippee, skip, and do. But okay, I want to say this as somebody who really, really liked Charlotte in NXT. Like, early Charlotte, where she wasn't leaning in on the Flair name, like, so deliberately. It's so sad to see where she has gotten in regards, because, like, I will admit, I look at Charlotte and I see a very broken woman who has, like, severe dysphoria, and it makes me sad because she was so amazing in NXT, and I just feel like, and I assume it's partially because of, like, McMahon pushing it and stuff, but, like, the more that she was made, especially once getting into main roster, to lean into her family legacy, God, she just becomes so unbearable. And I really don't want her to win this, but I do expect her to win this. I want Tiffany to retain. I want her to retain. I want her to just, like, she's the younger, more of, like, vibrant up-and-coming star. Let her retain. Let Charlotte put her over. I hope they have a great match. But, like, Tiffany can walk circles around Charlotte on the mic right now, and that is so sad to see, because Charlotte used to be decent on the mic. Girl used to be able to talk. I don't know what happened on that promo, but she fell apart, and Tiffany destroyed her.
By all accounts, what it is Charlotte has a habit of going off script, and Tiffany finally spoke back to her when Charlotte went off script, and Charlotte's not used to actually being challenged.
And I'm glad that she challenged her, because honestly, she should be. And I think, like, that's why I want Tiffany to win this so much. Like, I really, really, really want Tiffany to win this, because I want Charlotte to be like, no, you gotta actually, like, earn the respect back and show that, like, we all know you're decent in the ring, Charlotte, but you gotta earn the fans' respect back because you've lost it. And I think putting Tiffany over, if that was the ultimate plan, would be an amazing way to start building that, like, that back up. But I do expect Charlotte to probably win this, as stupid as that is. It should be Tiffy time. Oh, the fans are absolutely getting under Charlotte's skin. I mean, I'm sure there are certain wrestlers that are probably. I mean, Tiffany clearly got under Charlotte's skin. And again, it's sad because I do think Charlotte is struggling. And I don't know if this is the best thing for her right now to be like, because she doesn't seem like she's as she doesn't seem like she has as strong of a shield against the fan beratement as her father did. And I feel like it's really starting to get to her. So it's going to be very interesting. But let's talk about our next match, which is Gunther versus Jey. And oh my god, can I tell you how much I don't care? And I feel horrible saying that because I really like Gunther as a pro wrestler, and I really want Jey to actually have this main event push that he so desperately wants and seems like, and I think he does deserve. Like, and I think Jey and his brother are both very talented, and I want the singles run for him to work, but oh my god, I can't tell you how much I really just do not super care about the World Heavyweight Championship match, which is just wild to say, because it's the World Heavyweight.
Remember a year ago, Gunther with the Intercontinental going against Sami Zayn?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly, and that's like, I don't have, like, okay. I was watching live with people when Jey won the Rumble. And it was such a, like, bizarre thing, because I really, really was not expecting it. When he ended up being one of the last ones in there, I was like, oh, there's no way. And then he won it, and I was like, holy shit, I was totally wrong. And I was like, okay, let's go. I'm gonna be optimistic for this. I'm going to have faith that WWE is going to push him and give him time, and, like, they're gonna create a good story. And I just don't feel like that's happened. Like, and honestly, I don't really feel like Gunther's run with the World Heavyweight Championship has been interesting. They're like Chaos Cultist said, Gunther's run against Sami with the Intercontinental Championship was infinitely more interesting than anything he's done with the World Heavyweight Championship that he currently holds. And how does that happen? He's got one of the top 2 belts in the freaking company, and I just feel like it doesn't matter. And I'm sure that is probably a problem, like, really hardcore pro wrestling fans have probably felt for a while, because I feel like WWE has sort of struggled to maintain having the Universal Championship and the World Heavyweight Championship both simultaneously, like,
who would have foreseen such a problem?
Be important at the same time. I know, who would have guessed that this would have occurred? But I really do think that that's what's happened. Thank you for subscribing, Megabyte10. You think Jey Uso's got this and got screwed in the Rumble win and is not the main event of WrestleMania?
He won and is
and he's not. Yeah, I mean, yes, but I mean, neither did CM Punk. So, so it should be.
Punk didn't win the Rumble.
No, but he also really wants that. You're right. You're right. But a lot, like, I guess, like, that's the problem, though, is, like, I feel like WWE does not actually prioritize their top belts for the main events as much as they used to. And it's partially because they have too many of them. Because we want equal treatment for both the women's top belts and the men's top belts. And we also want to see, like, the tag champ. Basically, we want all belts to be.
I think it comes back to the company and the brand is the show, and they're afraid of making anything that isn't the WWE brand.
True. Yes. That is absolutely true. And the same thing, like, it's the exact same thing that's happened in Hollywood and why movie stars don't feel the same either. We were watching, who was it that we were watching that had a great essay about that?
Honestly, I don't remember.
I don't remember now. So it might have been Adam Ruins Everything.
It was either Adam Ruins Everything or How Money Works.
I think it was Adam's Ruin Everything, because I think, yes, I do, because I remember his blonde coif.
Okay.
So yeah, I think it was Adam Ruins Everything. He had a great essay about...
Yeah, because he talked about because he's worked in Hollywood.
Yes, and I think that's why, like, because I was like, no, it was from a perspective of an actor, or like a comedian, because he's a comedian, but he does acting too. So, like, the point is it was a really good essay talking about why Hollywood stars don't feel like Hollywood stars of the past. And while there's this nostalgia for constantly bringing in the old school Hollywood stars because they were bigger names than anybody who like is created now, I really encourage you to watch it. I think the same thing has happened to WWE because WWE has made the main focus the brand of WWE. That is what you want to remember. That is what you want to love. That's what we chant. That's what fans chant now more often than not at shows. And I just feel like we don't. Thank you for welcome to the newest member, Sheldon Jackson. You've joined the Hobby Night Legion. Thank you so much. It's lovely to have you join our community. Sorry, I got a slow delay on that because I don't have my headphones on, so I'm not hearing the pings or anything. My apologies for that, but I did see it, and welcome, Sheldon, welcome. Okay, yeah, I just feel like that's a problem, and this match, I think, is going to suffer from this problem of it being so focused on WWE and not the wrestlers, because I think Gunther and Jey and honestly a lot of superstars are being held back because WWE just wants to be able to control everything. And we started seeing this originally too when I feel like WWE like honestly created the network. Like, and it's the reason why it is the reason why I don't feel like we've had a megastar like Cena or The Rock or Austin or any of those characters since those times. And even comparing Austin versus, say, Cena, it is still very different levels of rabid, like, love by the fans for those people. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying us as fans haven't latched on to individual wrestlers and we chant their names and those kinds of things, but WWE has actively moved us away from those chants so that we can just be talking about the show and the product.
I remember we were at an NXT show, and it struck me.
Yes, because we were chanting. Oh, that's right. You're right. You're right. But yeah, you were right. Exactly. We were at it.
People chant for NXT and not the wrestlers.
Yes, and that really, really like stuck with me because that show. I remember us talking about that, and I feel like this match is like an accumulation of that problem. Because I just. Like, they haven't been able to make the World Heavyweight Championship matter, or either of these men in a way that, like, makes me really go, like, I'm so excited for this match, in the same way that I am, like, excited for some of the other matches that don't even have belts, or that kind of thing. And it's so wild to me. Moving on, though, to a match that all of us care about, because everybody's favorite goth is in it. We've got the Women's World Championship, which is a triple threat between Bianca Belair, Io Sky, and Rhea Ripley. And this is going to be phenomenal. All three of these women are just so good. I have no idea who's winning this match. Genuinely am unsure of who is actually going to be winning this match. I think Gunther and Jey is going to open the show, Sheldon. I think you're absolutely right. I feel, because it's not going to be the like main event, I feel like getting it on the first is probably a good idea because people will have the most energy. And I know people want to get. Yeah, I was gonna say people are gonna get hyped for Jey's entrance, which is one of the major things he has, I think, going for him right now. And because people freaking love that entrance, my God. So like. I agree. I think it should go on first. I think it needs that to be the spectacle that it should be, being the World Heavyweight Championship. I also want to see Rhea win or Io retain. As much as I love Bianca, and I do think she makes for an exceptional champion, I do really, really like Io being championship, and I will always, 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 always accept Mammy being champion. But I do want to call out, because I have been sort of leading a theory in this entire predictions that this is going to lead to the end of Judgment Day. I could see Rhea not winning here and Io retaining, and that further splitting up that faction. I could also to just completely counter myself and what I just said, I could see the exact same the exact same thing happening. Oh wait, I'm sorry, I completely scratch all of that. Rhea already left Judgment Day. I completely forgot. Her and Damian Priest.
You and what's his name on SmackDown? Both getting that wrong. Remember the announcer on SmackDown 2 weeks ago was like, "I'm representing Judgment Day."
Yes, I forgot. Yes, and I think that was partially why it was in my head. Because I remember hearing about that mistake being done live, and I just did it myself. Okay, scratch everything I just said. This has nothing to do with Judgment Day. I just want Rhea to win or Io to retain. I forgot. I completely forgot that Rhea left. It's because she hasn't really like changed her look. She's still a goth badass, and so is Damian Priest for that matter. But yeah, what are they called? Terror Twins? Is that what they're called? I feel like that's why I haven't associated them as not being in Judgment Days, because I feel like I never hear their team name ever. Granted, I also am not like actively watching the week-to-week shows, so they probably say it more in that, but like in the clips that I end up watching, I just don't feel like it's covered as much. But yeah, I'm for Rhea or Io, as much as I love Bianca. Am I still there? No. Weird, I didn't drop frames, but I disconnected for just a moment, but I think I'm still here. I'm gonna wait and let's make sure that you guys tell me that I'm still, I should be still live. I haven't stopped and I haven't dropped any frames, but I did have a weird disconnect. Okay, cool, good, thank you. Just wanted to make sure. OBS really randomly did like a disconnected, reconnected, but I never dropped any frames. So I was like...
Your computer has some weird quirks.
It does. I think it's because I am cursed with technology. Also, what is it BXB on her cheek? Rhea's. B plus B? It's definitely two B's. I can't tell what the little symbol in the, like, here is, but it's definitely two B's.
Maybe one of them's for Buddy?
Oh, maybe.
Like, I don't know what Rhea's real name is.
I actually don't know either.
Oh, Back 4 Blood.
Oh, Back 4 Blood. It's a 4. Thank you, Sheldon. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, I couldn't figure that out. All right, let's go ahead and we'll move away. I know this makes all of us sad, but we're gonna move away from our goth mommy. I know. And we're gonna instead talk about Seth, Roman, and everybody's favorite person, CM Punk. Ha! He's not on the main event. Screw you, Punk. All right. I really, I don't care who wins this as long as it's not Punk. But I suspect Punk is gonna win this. That makes me sad. Demi is her real name? Demi Bennett. Oh, okay, got it.
Hey.
Roman to win? I kind of want Roman to win. Like, I've liked where Roman's story has been for the last, like, year or so plus.
He did an interview this past week that made it sound like that man's not going to be wrestling past 2026.
Really?
I don't think so. I think he's going to go to acting. I think he saved enough money in the last 5 years to go
do his own thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised by that, just because, I mean, honestly, he's probably could easily get acting jobs. I really don't feel like that's going to be a problem for him. He's gotten so much better with his presentation than when, like, WWE was being really restrictive and controlling of him and trying to make him this, like, baby face that no one wanted. But, like, this is gonna be a good match. This is gonna be, like, we talked about some of the other matches being really good. This is also gonna be a phenomenal match. I mean, Seth, Roman, and Punk, like, all three of them are just exceptional in the ring. They also work really well together, like Seth and Roman especially, but I feel like Punk is pretty good with most people. He's pretty fluid. with being able to get into things with people and just making them look good. So as much as I hate saying that,
he can make them look strong.
He can make them look strong. Exactly. God, I just really hope Punk gets crushed because that's just
your MO.
My MO. it's my MO. It's just how I feel. I don't know actually who I want to win legitimately between Seth and Roman. I think it's Roman because I do. Knowing,
I'm open for Seth.
I think Seth could be very likely. I would not in any way be upset if Seth was the one to win.
This is all about who gets to keep Paul Heyman in the future. And if Paul Heyman picks Seth, Paul interferes. Seth is now the new Heyman guy.
Okay.
Which he has not officially gained the title of yet.
You are correct. And here's the other thing. If what you said about Roman with the interview is accurate, and let's face it, Punk ain't gonna be around infinitely. The man already had to leave once because of injuries and stuff, and I just don't think he's gonna be around forever. Seth, on the other hand, I think is going to be around for another 20 years. I think Seth is gonna be a long-term in this industry, not necessarily going into Hollywood.
He's the new Orton.
I really do think Seth is the new Orton. I think Seth will, because Seth has gone and done movies and stuff, and I think he will continue to probably do that off and on. But I really feel like his passion, considering the backyard wrestling and his indie background and all of that, I think Seth is a pro wrestler through and through and won't leave that until he's much older. So I do think Seth winning and becoming the Paul Heyman guy, because I did forget that was part of what this was about.
All the favors.
All the favors and everything. I feel like that also is logical on Paul Heyman's mindset as well, to continue to make himself relevant within the industry. I think it could be I think it'd be twisted that way of you know what? I'm gonna lock it in now. I'm gonna root for Seth. I'm gonna lock Seth in because I've convinced myself, mostly because of some because of the Chaos Cultist persuading a little bit of I think Seth should take this. I think Seth should become officially the next Paul Heyman guy, because Roman obviously has already done that. Punk definitely already did that. And you know what? Heyman has gotten burned by both of them to a certain extent.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't know if, even with the few limited times that Seth has interacted with Heyman, if he's burned him yet. So you know what? Seth. Go Seth. I'm rooting for Seth in this one. Next up, in our final match of the card. Oh boy. I'm not gonna lie, I think Cena's winning this. I do think WWE wants Cena to break Ric Flair's artificial record of holding what we're having however many.
14?
No, I think it's 16. I think Rick has had 15. I think Cena has had 15. And so I think this is the 16th win. Because Charlotte has 14 and she doesn't quite have as many as her father.
That's right.
And I know Charlotte has 14 because this article talked about it. I definitely think Cena's gonna win with interference from The Rock. Because this of all
if Cody is not left in a pool of his own piss and blood, in the Yamcha pose to gain sympathy, I will be surprised.
Same.
With the shroud of Dusty Rhodes, the shroud of Turin, but Dusty Rhodes did it instead. It's much bigger.
Yes.
And they just drape it across Cody's dead corpse after he's been people's elbowed into a you can't see me 5-knuckle shuffle. It's just gonna be disrespect.
I completely agree, and apparently they're both at 16. Cena's going for his 17th win, so okay, slightly off, but yes. But yeah, I really, really think that Cena should win this. Cody's run as champion has been fun, But if I'm honest, Cody's always more entertaining chasing, in my opinion.
Gotta be a drama queen.
Yeah, he's gotta be a drama queen. He's gotta have that opportunity to be like an absolute drama queen chasing the belt. So I really do think Cena's gonna win this. I definitely think Cena is going to do it with the assistance of The Rock. Yeah, I feel like of everything on this card, this is the most predictable of all of them.
And that might be the only reason
why it could have a swerve and like Cody could
win.
It's
not the Vince era, so I doubt it. Mm-hmm. But hey,
I agree, and like
if they did it, imagine the headlines on Monday.
It would be amazing. Like if this match gets swerved, if Cena doesn't win, I will be genuinely shocked. Like it would have to be like I'm trying to think what possibly.
There's no other swerve opportunity.
No, because like who would realistically, who hadn't already been on the show already, or it would just feel really contrived feeling, could realistically come in and interrupt. Oh my God, Austin returns, interrupts The Rock from interfering so that Cena can't win, and that's how Cody wins.
Maybe.
He teams with Steve Austin. Like, that is legitimately the only thing I can potentially even remotely to come up with that in some way would like hold a grain of dumb wrestling logic to make sense, and I would sort of be like, okay. Like, that is the only thing I can think of that would legitimately convince me maybe Cena isn't winning this match. Because otherwise, Taker comes back.
Again, like last year.
God, that would be so... You think Ric Flair's gonna come? I guess that's true. Ric Flair could come down and screw him.
Yeah, exactly.
That would be so stupid, though. He's so fragile.
You can't keep the Ninja Boy down.
Yes, you can. You just hit him really hard. I'm pretty sure he'll shatter every bone in that. Well, okay, maybe not, because he does seem to be made a little bit of. Oh my God, is Ric Flair weirdly Luffy? God, I hope that doesn't happen.
No, but I do think he might have the will of D. Like, no, he is not. He is definitely not Luffy, but he might have the will of D.
You're right. He probably does have the will. I mean, he is in One Piece.
And he does smile.
He does smile a lot.
Even when he's bloodied and insane.
True. God. Yeah, I was like, I thought he was. Like, he's nearing 80, is he not?
Yeah.
I don't want Ric Flair to show up. On so many levels. Like, both because I don't want to be reminded of Ric Flair, just period. I don't want to see Ric Flair because I just think he's
if he's gonna be there, I think he'll be with Charlotte.
And that is another reason why I don't want to see him there, because again, I miss when Charlotte did not have to lean on her father's legacy so much.
When was that? You started when she was NXT, and it was literally her versus Natalya with Bret Hart and Ric Flair at ringside. That was the first NXT episode you ever watched.
But they dropped that really quickly.
That's because that was the end of it, actually.
And I'm really and I thought that was great.
First takeover, I should correct myself.
Okay, and I do remember that, because I do remember the Bret Hart Natalya versus Ric Flair and having Bret and Rick on the sides, which was just so dumb. I still think that was stupid, but I felt like one of the things that I was impressed by was that shortly after that, I felt like she then had a story where she was like, I don't want to lean on that legacy. I want to prove myself, and I felt like she had, and I miss that Charlotte. I miss the Charlotte that had the belief in herself to not have to lean on her father, to basically go, I don't want you to think of my dad when you see me. And I know she said that modernly in main roster, but bitch, you can't be dressing like your daddy if you don't want me to think about him. Because the robe immediately makes me think that. And I'm sorry, but it just does. It is ingrained in my brain. I see a big, gaudy, blinged out robe. Immediately I think of Ric Flair. And so, you can't claim that legitimately and still dress like him. Change it up. Do something completely different. Take a note from Emma Frost. Okay? Hellfire Club Emma Frost. You are a blonde, powerful, mega bitch, okay? Own it. Wear the blinged out dresses, not the robes. Gowns.
Yeah, I'm surprised she hasn't gone that route, honestly.
Like, I would have been so okay if she had. Like, the robe was cool when she, like, first did it because she got some, like, the peacock robe specifically. Don't get me wrong, she's had some great costumes. So, and during some periods where I really did enjoy her work. But modernly, I'm like, I want you to just abandon everything that, like, associates you with your dad.
I want to bring up, Mackenzie Johnson says Ric Flair won't happen because he's under contract with AEW. That's been debated. Ric Flair himself said it, I think in an interview, that he couldn't show up because he's under contract. But from what I recall, Wrestle Talk talking about through their sources, is he's not under contract, he's under a X number of appearances deal.
Got it.
And whether or not he's allowed to show up at other things is really gray.
I
so
see.
He could be just kayfabing it.
Okay.
But I do know what you're talking about, Mackenzie.
Okay, yeah, I actually do think I had heard that as well, and I'm not sure if he's actually unable to show because of legitimately being under contract with AEW. I could also see him being as old as he is and not giving a fuck and just showing up anyways because WWE paid him enough. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I could also just see him doing that because it's Ric Flair and, like, I'm not really sure he's gonna care. He's over 80. He's not like he's gonna actually be in the ring doing anything and taking bumps or stuff. Like, he's just not up for that anymore. Oh, and then there is one other match that I think is still potentially happening. Randy was originally going to have a match against KO in Mania. I don't know if that is still happening. It's not on this list, but I do remember that was supposed to happen, and as far as I had last seen, I think on, like, Twitter, I thought that there was still a to-be-determined return, and I think I had seen somebody, and I was like, I thought Nick Aldis was already in WWE, but just as the Raw manager or SmackDown manager, one of the two. I can't remember now.
There's a narrative reason because he's been the manager of the show, and Orton's been driving him nuts.
Is that why people think that might happen?
Yeah,
okay.
So Kevin Owens was kind of supposed to be his enforcer in the situation.
I see.
That fell through because of the surgery need. And so there's that. There's talk that it could be Aleister Black.
That's true. Yeah, Aleister Black coming back. Oh my God, guys!
But I think he's predicted for Raw.
Is he? Okay.
But once again, with the situation with Kevin Owens changing everything, who bloody knows?
That's true.
Especially
and also,
with Aleister, Kevin Owens, and Orton all seeming to be pretty buddy-buddy with Triple H, I could see things being played close to the chest.
I absolutely could believe that. I would also flip my fucking mind if Aleister Black showed up and he did his freaking coffin.
Man is ever truly
really good. No man is ever truly evil. Oh my God, I want it back. So, like, if that music pops and he rises out of a goddamn coffin, I will just, like, scream violently, happily. Cord will be so proud. Slanesh will also be really proud.
Possibly Rusev.
Oh yes, Rusev is another. Yes, Rusev is another one that could be coming back. For Orton as well.
Because they've had a history, so they know
they
how to work each other.
They do. Who would I prefer? Aleister, I think. Like, no offense to Rusev, I do love Rusev, but like...
This is just fangirlism.
This is just fangirlism, because I actually really like Randy Orton. He was one of my first, like, early favorites when I first got into pro wrestling. I know, but I did like him. I thought he was good, and
She thought he was hot.
I liked the snake RKO thing out of nowhere. Like, I really liked that. I thought it was so snappy.
20-something-year-old Angela thought Randy Orton was hot.
Yes, I did. But I also liked how snappy he was with his moves. I thought it was very cool. Because he was so, like, tall, and I'm like, Jesus, he flies. And I mean, it's one of the reasons I actually really like Kevin Owens, too, because I was like, holy shit, that man moves. And destroys people. Same thing with Samoa Joe, actually. Like, good God. But yeah, so, like, I really liked Randy Orton when I first got into WWE, and, like, again, I was getting into it when he was sort of ending his stuff with Cena, and so he was starting to do more interesting things, and he wasn't just locked into this eternal feud anymore, so that was nice. I also enjoyed some of the stuff that he did with, like, Bray and all of that as well.
You like Orton post-Daddy Orton.
I love post Daddy.
Like, Orton
Dad,
dad
yes,
chilled out.
yes. Dad Orton is my favorite Orton. That is who I like was attracted to.
See, a lot of us remember post dishonorable discharge from the military.
Didn't know that one. That was not my Randy Orton. My Randy Orton. It wasn't
dishonorable discharge. It was like something like.
It was something like that.
Yeah.
But mine is Dad Orton, and I love Dad Orton. Also, yes, Lana returning would be very cool, and that is the main reason why I actually would prefer Aleister over Rusev, because I loved.
Yes, and just because I don't want to get in trouble for saying the wrong facts.
Yes.
Randy Orton received a bad contact discharge from the Marines after going AWOL twice and disobeying a commanding officer. I think he had like.
So not dishonorable, but bad conduct.
Yeah.
Still not much better. But the thing I wanted to say about Orton and that match that's coming up, and the reason why I want Aleister over Rusev and like coming back in that match. I want Rusev back, don't get me wrong. But I loved Lana and Rusev together as like the Russian powerhouse riding in a tank, fucking in a tank.
We were there.
We were there. And I'm so excited that I can say that. I loved that Rusev, okay? Fantastic. I don't know if he's gonna come back as that, and that makes me really sad, and I don't
I don't think we're ever gonna hear Lana say Vladimir Putin.
Yeah,
again.
no, we're never gonna hear her say that again. And that's fine. That's not really what I'm so much missing, but like.
Speak for yourself.
No, trust me.
No, you are.
I am speaking for myself. Like, if that could happen, it was the best, in my opinion, treatment of an evil foreign heel without being blatantly racist that WWE has done. Or like just incredibly rude to the culture. So like, that is why I'm like, I don't necessarily need that back because I understand our relations with Russia right now. I get it, but I do miss the character.
It'd be so much better now, though. The heat.
Oh my god, it would. The heat would be insane.
If this was WCW in 1999,
they would do it. They would do it in a heartbeat. But I also would like worry about like the health, both physically and mentally, of both CJ and Rusev.
Oh god, yeah.
So I wouldn't want to put them through that. However, if and when Rusev comes back, I really want him to be with Lana though, because I do think like
they hooked back up in real life.
I did see that, which is really, really cool to see. Glad to hear that. I was not I liked some of what Rusev did in AEW, but it wasn't my favorite thing for him, and I just don't know where he's gonna go now, and like, so that's where I'm like, I'm hesitant. Whereas like Aleister, I can feel like can just jump back into being a goth badass, and it's gonna work. Like it'll be fine. You don't have to like explain it or anything. He's spooky and supernatural, and he just reappeared in his coffin, and now he's going after Randy Orton because they've had a past history. Like that would be fine enough for me. And again, I know Rusev has also a back history with Orton. I just, especially as we gotta throw somebody in here, I feel like Aleister makes a little bit more sense as like, you could almost say he was summoned by the negative energy of Owens getting injured or something. Like, stupid like that, because he's goth and dark and menacing, right? Like, I feel like you could twist it and make it somehow stupidly work in, like, pro wrestling logic. And I don't know, it makes more sense to me. I think I just want to see Aleister and hear his theme. I just really want to hear Aleister's theme again. And hearing it at WrestleMania would make me scream. So that's really what I'm hoping for. 2009 Orton was different, that's fair. That is very fair. But yeah, so I think that is going to be it for our predictions. Thank you guys have you ever wanted to wrestle professionally? No. I think it would be extremely cool to maybe like do it as a one-off event type of thing. Like do a single show, but I am nowhere physically fit enough and I would be really afraid that I would like destroy my back or something, or like break something. I've never broken any bones in my life before, and I feel like if I was going to pro wrestle,
you need a life experience.
I don't want that life experience. Thank you. Especially not at this age where my bones don't heal as well as they used to. Like if I had done it as a kid, sure, but like no, I've never really wanted to pro wrestle professionally. Now, doing like being a manager or something,
Ballet,
or a valet, that I think I could be very much into. That I could get behind a lot. Like, and I would not even necessarily be afraid to necessarily take bumps. I just don't think I personally have the stamina for pro wrestling. I also have asthma, so I don't know if that would work well, and it's induced by doing like heavy athletics. So I don't know if I'd actually be good at that, or like have the ability to breathe properly while doing that much cardio and throwing myself around. But I have thrown myself onto a mat a little bit, so I can at least do the fall, which is kind of fun. But like, I don't know. I wouldn't trust myself to do it. I've never. It's not something I've wanted to do on a professional level, just because I don't think I would. I don't think I would manage it well. Although who knows? Maybe I could pull off a DDP and just like come in late, do extremely well, and then retire. Do I like Karrion Kross? Yeah, I think Karrion Kross is cool. What is he doing right now? Is he even still with WWE?
Yes, he is.
He is? Okay, good. I keep going in and out?
Yeah, your levels are weird, actually.
Let me see.
Yeah, check your properties.
We're on the right device.
Yeah, go ahead and max it out at the bottom.
Okay. There we go. Sorry about that. Hopefully it wasn't being...
Drop your music volume.
Drop my music volume. Got it. How's that better?
Should be.
Okay, cool. Let me know if that's a little bit better. Asthma, no wrestling underwater. Generally, no wrestling, period. It's all... It's not all I mean, yes, it is choreographed, but like there's still like things that happen.
That was the problem. Your mic was way down.
Oh, weird.
Yeah, so that should be way louder now. Sorry about that, folks.
Yeah, I'm so sorry about that.
Hope it was like, audible for the first beginning of all this. You know?
Okay, yeah, I hope so too. Has anybody else had mic problems? Because I just like no one mentioned it during the entire stream until now. So I'm hoping, and I would hope that if there was anything remotely going on with my mics or anything like that you guys would let me know. Please do in the future if there's anything weird, or if it sounds like at all like my levels might be odd or something, or if I'm coming in quiet, let me know, because I will absolutely adjust that, because there's entirely... It's been audible? Okay, good. Like, we've been good. We haven't been breaking up. That's good. All right. Stressed. Was very stressed there for a moment that we had, like, borked things the entire time. But yeah, I think this WrestleMania, looking just through everything, there's a couple matches where I'm like, whatever. But most of them I think are going to be pretty fun. Now... Let me actually look, because I don't remember what
I'll comment on that, Eternal Crusader. Like, I actually said before all this, like, if things were a little calmer in world war kind of situations right now, I would not have been surprised if we had seen the president at this year's WrestleMania.
I completely agree.
Considering he did that, he showed up at that UFC show last week.
Yeah.
But I think he's a little too busy right now, but
God
only knows with him.
I also wouldn't be surprised, because I don't know what... Like, obviously, Trump
apparently did tell you it was quiet.
Oh, you did? Okay.
I need you to re-chat in the future.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, if it does, make sure keep saying it until I read that next time for me, because I am so sorry. It wasn't going in and out though. It was just quiet because my music was a little loud, or was it like actually like skipping or something? Like, I hope it wasn't too bad. Okay, but I wanted to look because I know the night 1 and night 2 divide. I want to actually look at that real quick, and that's how we're gonna wrap up today's stream. Let's see, night 1. All right, so for night 1, we've got Gunther and Jey Uso, Rey Mysterio versus El Grande Americano, the War Raiders and New Day, Jade and Naomi, LA Knight versus Jacob Fatu, Tiffany Stratton and Charlotte Flair. Okay, so Charlotte and them are going to be on night 1. Interesting, okay. Oh, right, because Rhea, Io, and... okay, that makes more sense, actually. Rhea, Io, and Bianca are going to be on night 2. And then our...
If people want to watch night 1...
Yes. If you do want to watch night 1, I was actually getting to that because I wanted to see what the divide was between the 2 cards. So if you are interested in watching WrestleMania night 1 with little old me, you can do so because I will be hosting a watch-along party that will begin at 3:30 p.m. Pacific time, starting Saturday for night 1, and that'll be over on my free OnlyFans page. It's gonna get a little spicy, so of course, if you're an adult, you are absolutely welcome to join, and I hope to see you there because I always have a lot of fun on these. It is, if you want my truest, most honest opinion of pro wrestling, good God, is this the event for it? Because I will give you all of my opinions. I will more than likely have a massively long rant about CM Punk because more than likely I'll be a little inebriated. And it's a long show, so I'll have feels. I'll have a lot of feels to give out about that. So it is a grand, grand time. I really hope that you guys are able to join me. Again, that is WrestleMania Night 1 watch-along party over on my free OnlyFans page starting at 3:30 p.m. this Saturday. I hope to see you guys there. And in the meantime, thank you guys so much for joining me today in my prediction stream. I hope you enjoyed it. It was lovely to actually talk about pro wrestling with you guys because it's been a little while since we chatted about it. Honestly, I'm really ultimately happy to see where pro wrestling is at. I feel like both WWE and AEW are in various ways trying and actually competing against each other. And
AEW just surpassed Nitro's number of episodes.
Hell yeah, that's awesome.
So now technically AEW is the greater competitor in the history of WWE, if at least you go by longevity.
Dude, that's actually spectacular for them because that's honestly a decent achievement and really cool that they have managed to stick around and do as much as they have against the powerhouse that is Hobbs. No, he's on AEW.
He's the powerhouse Hobbs.
The powerhouse that is WWE, now TKO. But yeah, I really, really, really... That's okay. Got it. That makes sense. Oh my God, if Trump screwed Cody, I would be so aghast and honestly, like, I would make the face of the bro who was shocked that Undertaker got pinned. I'd be like, and then I think I'd riot. I think I would riot.
I would go mad and laugh like the Joker.
Oh God.
We would live in a society.
No, please, no. Like, I accept Rock coming in and doing something, but if the president shows up and does something, good God, no. That would just be terrible, and I do not want that. Okay, we're not gonna let that happen. It's okay, fine. It's okay, it's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. It's just gonna be The Rock. It's just gonna be The Rock. That's the only person who's gonna interfere in Cena and Cody's match. Anyways, I'll see you guys this Saturday at 3:30 p.m. on my free OnlyFans page for my watch-along party for night 1. And until then, I have been Angela. Have a wonderful rest of your hobby night, everybody. Toodles.